Hey guys, it's Brant, and I'm back as Paul Stanley. And I'm here to talk about Paul Stanley's solo album. And what I like and what I don't like about Paul Stanley. And some of my favorite songs from Paul, just as a celebration of Paul and a celebration of the solo albums. During this time in 1978, I was a huge Kiss fan. I was a new Kiss fan. I'd been a Kiss fan for a little over a year. Became a Kiss fan in August of 1977. And so Kiss was in their heyday during this time for me and for a lot of people. And it was when the merchandising machine was at its height. And so it was the first year that I either wore the mask as Peter, or it was the first year that I put on the Kiss Your Face makeup kit. I think the Kiss Your Face makeup kit didn't come out until '79. So I'm not sure. But I knew that I had the mask one year, and I knew that I had makeup a couple years. There's a video that I put this makeup on and I showed. You can see it. It's down in the description, or you can see it at the end of the video. And one of the primary reasons I dressed up and doing this series this month of October is to talk about the 1978 solo albums and talking about Paul's solo album in particular for this video. This album is a great album. It's one of my favorite Kiss albums, and just in the whole catalog. And it goes back and forward, being tied for my favorite solo album between Ace and Paul. It all depends on what mood I'm in, actually. There's different parts of each one I like better than the other. Paul put out a solid album though, like just going down through the track listing. Tonight You Belong to Me is a great song. Move On, I'm not really a fan of. Ain't Quite Right is good. Wouldn't You Like to Know Me is a kick-ass song. Take Me Away Together As One is my second all-time favorite Paul Stanley song. It's Alright is great. Hold Me, Touch Me, I hate, can't stand it. It's right there with My Way, and you know, it's one of those songs I can't stand. I wish I'd never written it. Love in Chains and Goodbye are okay. You know, they're just, to me, I know some people love those songs, but to me it's like his album just peters out once you get past a certain point on the side too. It just peters out. But he put out a great solo album. He was very experimental. He used a lot of open tuning. He used the EBow, which you can only use an EBow on one string at a time, and he would layer EBows, which means he was doing a lot of overdubbing. He did it mostly by himself and a producer and a couple other musicians. Had Bob Kulick. He had a couple different bass players. But unlike Gene and unlike Peter, and more similar to Ace, he used a very stripped down ensemble of people around him. Most of the songs on the album are self-produced, and he did a great job. He did have Jeff Glicksman, who produced bands like Kansas. One in particular, the Take Me Away Together As One, which is that epic song that I've not met anybody that doesn't love it yet. What I think about Paul in general. I have a love-hate relationship with Paul Stanley. More, you know, I've been criticized heavily for calling him out on lip syncing, but that's his own doing. You know, he was the one that, you know, gave people such a hard time for lip syncing in the past, and now here he is himself doing it. But if he needs to do that in order to be able to tour for 3 years, in order to give the Kiss fans the final goodbye that they feel, that Kiss feels that they deserve, then more power to him. I didn't go to see the tour. I don't plan on going to see the tour because I've already said my goodbye to Kiss when they did the farewell tour years ago. I've already said my goodbye. And so it has nothing to do with era or anything. It just has to do with that. But now, my loves of Paul Stanley is I have many reasons that I do. One, he's the guy that kept Kiss going through the 80s. When Gene turned his back on Kiss and turned his eye towards producing and being in movies, it was Paul that continued to write, record, make albums. And some of those albums, like during the Animalize, Asylum, Crazy Nights era, those are all Paul Stanley. Those are Paul Stanley productions. There is nobody in Kiss that can write a song like Paul Stanley. All of them have good songs. Ace has good songs. Gene has good songs. Peter has good songs. But Paul Stanley writes the best songs. hands down, period, in Kiss. He constructs songs, and he is the best songwriter in Kiss, in my opinion. He also has a great voice. Paul Stanley, he had such a powerful voice when he was in his prime. And when Paul Stanley was really singing, I could feel it all the way inside of me. It'd give me goosebumps. But he could also over-sing too, and he could get a little overzealous and get too high up in the rafters. And then I started not caring for it so much. But some of my favorite Paul Stanley songs, some of my favorite Kiss songs have been Paul Stanley songs. Firehouse is one of my top 5. He wrote it when he was 16. That's amazing. And he wrote it as an experiment trying to emulate an English band, an English rock band. I think it was The Move, if I'm not mistaken. Detroit Rock City, hands down, my favorite Kiss song of all time, Detroit Rock City. But Paul has wrote so many good songs throughout his career in Kiss. Shandy, a lot of people hate Shandy. I think Shandy is great. The song Tomorrow is great. It's a great song. There are just so many good songs he's written through the years. And one of these days I'm going to sit down and I'm going to do a top 10 favorite song by my each members of Kiss. With Peter it may have to be top 5. I don't know, unless I include songs off his solo album. Then I could probably do a top 10 for him. But I love Paul Stanley. If it hadn't have been for Paul and Gene, we wouldn't have a Kiss. We wouldn't have Kiss, and especially we wouldn't have Kiss if it had been for Paul. So that is my homage to Mr. Paul Stanley. He's great. I mean, I follow him even today on Twitter, Instagram, stuff, social media, and he's a great painter. He's a great artist. He's a good father. He's a good husband. He's a great guy. So I wanted to make this video and dress up like him. I wanted to make this video for him and for Kiss for the month of October, and to celebrate a little bit of my childhood, that's showing being 50 years old, you can still have enough of a kid inside of you to still be a kid every once in a while and do something fun and crazy and outrageous. And then when I finish this video, I'll take the hat, I'll take the wig off, I'll take the makeup off, and then I'll go do the things I have to do to finish out my Sunday afternoon. I hope each one of you enjoyed the video. If you've not subscribed to me already, hit subscribe, hit the notification button. I had somebody the other day say that they wouldn't know that I was putting out new videos had I not promoted them on social media. I said, well, you probably don't have the notification bell clicked, so don't forget that step. Be sure to give a thumbs up, a like. That helps somehow. I don't know exactly how it helps, but it does. And check out my other YouTube videos. Leave a comment down in the comment section about who your favorite member of Kiss is, what you think about Paul Stanley, what's your favorite songs by Paul Stanley, have you ever dressed up like Paul Stanley, put on the makeup. Interact down in the comments with me. I love hearing from you guys, and I try to answer when I can. And that's all I've got. You can see the video of me putting the makeup on at the end of this one, so you can see the video of me putting it on. You can also jump over to my Patreon page. It's patreon.com. It's / in my head, and you can see videos of me putting the makeup on in real time, not time lapse, but in real time. I also put behind the scenes things on there. Some of my Patreons already knew this video was coming out. They knew about it about a week ago. So I've actually been working on this since September. By the time this comes out, it'll be well into October. I've been working on this since September. So, and my Patreons knew about it before I even started. You can get in on Patreon as little as $1 a month, and it basically just helps to pay for stuff that I do, like my albums, my camera equipment, my makeup, well, paid for the makeup this time, things like that. Something you can do, consider. If not, that's okay too. It's no big deal. But anyway, I'm Brant within my head channel, coming to you as Paul Stanley today, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Appreciate you watching. I'll see you again next time, guys. Keep rocking.